Let's take a look at this nutritional supplements e-commerce brand with a 49% repeat order rate, 45% net margins, making $652,000 a year in profit, and recently listed for sale by website closers at an asking price of $2,930,000, or a little less than a 5x multiple. This is my first time looking at it. I have not gone through any of the details here. I'm just like, okay, let's turn on the camera here and I'm going to record a breakdown and share my take on the business model and business valuation with you guys, and whether or not I might be interested in acquiring this business. I've acquired a handful of businesses, started and also sold businesses over the last 15 years. So I'm going to go through this listing, pick out some of the key details, and then I will come back to them and flesh them out and share a little bit more of my experience-based insight into the business model, the details, and ultimately the valuation here. It's 10:46 right now. I'm going to try and do this quick here in like 10 minutes. I typically start these videos and I go on for like 20 minutes. I'm going to try doing this one a little bit quick. So I'm going to move quick. Here we go. Website Closers makes these incredibly long teasers, and that's nice in some ways, but also not nice in other ways. I don't know if I like them or hate them. Anyways, if you go to Biz Buy Sell and you find this on there, they're actually a little bit shorter. But getting into it here, where do we start? Established 6 years ago, has built one of the very best supplements on the market. I was looking for the word brands, with a scientifically backed compound, sulforaphane, don't know what that word is or what that is, which has a proven product market fit, generating close to $6 million in sales since 2021 with almost no outside capital or paid marketing. That's interesting. No paid marketing. Their product delivers 25 milligrams of sulforaphane per serving, verified by independent lab testing, making it the most potent formula on the market. Loyal customer base. Their formulation is clean, 92% US source, 10 times the potency of leading competitors, with an average AOV of $66, 49% repeat buyer rate, evidenced by over 1,800 subscriptions. The founders built this business on long-term credibility, transparent testing, verified results. Marketing, without relying on ad budgets, their success so far has mainly come from organic exposure from influencer credibility and customer reviews. The supplement's core ingredient has been widely discussed by health influencers. Like, I don't know who that is, but I know who Andrew Huberman and Brian Johnson is, creating a powerful unpaid visibility. It's been featured on the biggest podcasts, maintains active sales through Amazon, Shopify, TikTok Shop. It is yet to fully explore paid advertising, and the operation runs on a lean, efficient structure. The two founders currently dedicate around 12 to 15 hours per week, focusing on customer service. Fulfillment was recently brought in-house, cutting shipping costs from $15 to under $10 per order, saving more than $70,000 at current volume. The company now manages its own packaging, labeling, and order processing for direct sales, while continuing to use Amazon FBA Marketplace for marketplace orders. And ready to scale, you can explore Meta and Google Ads, influencer campaigns, product expansion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's unpack it here. What do I like about the business? I will say there's a lot to like about it. We'll start up here with the 49% repeat order rate. That's very high. 45% net margins. Those are, I would say, good margins for a supplement business. But we have to consider, that they're not running any ads. So sometimes you see businesses that are running ads in the supplement space and still get higher than this net margin. So they're good, but they're not anything excessive. That said, I think they are sustainable, because it's not uncommon to see businesses spinning off really high margins, but it's simply not sustainable. We know that 45% net margins, in my opinion, in the supplement business is sustainable. 13% year-over-year growth, so the business is growing a little and not rapidly, and they've achieved $6 million in sales since 2021, so it's 2025 right now. At the end of over 4 years, they've achieved $6 million. That's a nice It's a nice run rate, and I don't think that's too high. So I like their growth trajectory. I like these metrics here. I like the repeat order rate and the net margin. I like that they're growing, but not that they're on a hockey stick growth track. I also like this, the diversified sales channel. There's 43% Amazon, 43% Shopify, and the remainder, I think, was TikTok Shop, like 15%. They've got a nice diversification in sales channels. I typically don't like Amazon businesses that are 100% dependent on Amazon, or right, like 95%. They pick up some scraps on their Shopify. Here, they've got a good diversification between Amazon and Shopify. I'd be interested to know if possibly, they're pulling any of the Amazon customers successfully from Amazon into their Shopify platform, or if these two act basically separate, right? Like they're totally different markets that come to the Amazon and the Shopify. TikTok, I don't really know much about it, but I like that it is a different channel. What's interesting here, what stood out to me as interesting is that they brought everything in-house as opposed to having this fulfilled by a third party, so 3PL. And there are, like 3PL specific for supplements that can, take the raw ingredient and package it for you and also send it out. I'm guessing that it is contract manufactured and then they get it and they're doing their own packaging, label, and processing. This can be outsourced and it's often quite cheap. But here it seems like they have successfully insourced it and they're saving money by doing that. That said, they have to have a warehouse somewhere and somebody's got to staff the warehouse, and you get all the headaches that come along with that. I fundamentally would rather not have a warehouse in any online business that I'm running. I'd rather go through the 3PL, even if it costs me some money, but they are making it work to the tune of $652,000 per year. And the product also seems to be trending and supported by the influencers. And I like that they, are kind of talking about how it's discussed by health influencers, but I don't know if they're actually paying them. They didn't mention anything about paid influencer marketing. All right, so there's a lot to like in this business. Oh, they also mentioned subscription in here as well. Where's the subscription? I just mentioned briefly subscription. There it is. With over 1,800 active subscriptions. So that's cool too. They've got the recurring revenue. What is the risk, right? Like what's the downside here? And possibly that's competition, right? I've never heard of this sulforaphane or whatever this is. I'm guessing, I hope I'm saying that right, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. Possibly the competitors that would be getting into this space, or competitors that are in the supplement space already, have not yet jumped on fully the bandwagon of whatever this supplement is. So I'd want to see, how recently competitors are popping up in this space, right? Are there competitors that have been in the space for a long time and this business is simply outcompeting them? Or have they simply, just kind of captured a market premium because the competitors haven't jumped in to arbitrage it away? But that said, they've got a nice 4-year head start on it. And, they've built up their platform they've built up their brand across multiple platforms here. So not a huge risk. Who would be the ideal buyer for this business? And I think, I think this is a pretty stable and robust and established business. So I think a lot of people could get into this business and run it, considering they have team members that are handling the ads already, right? Like if they've got team members that are pretty much handling everything. They don't talk about the team, do they? Operations are lean. Yeah, they don't say anything about staff, team, or I didn't see anything about employees. Oh, here it is. The company runs on a lean structure with no full-time employees or contractors. The two founders currently dedicate around 12 to 15 hours per week focusing on customer service, order tracking, and coordination with manufacturing and fulfillment. Okay, so it seems like if you acquire this business, you're going to have to go there and run the business yourself, fundamentally fulfilling orders. So that's kind of not something I really like about, about what they've got going on here. That's kind of not a red flag, but a little bit of scratch, into the quality of the business. Uh, Anyways, it seems like, things are pretty robust and established in the business, but I'm just kind of finding it hard to believe that they run this business themselves with no full-time employees or contractors. If you were going to get into it, and you don't have a ton of experience in running online businesses, I would want to make sure that they have got, the marketing and the website management all taken care of. Like that these two sellers of the business don't have to know anything about the website, don't have to know anything about the marketing, because you as the buyer are going to need to jump in there and kind of figure out, all right, hey, what am I going to do to market it and grow it and ultimately, keep the order fulfillment. I think that as a buyer, I would want to, see somebody in here in place for fulfilling the order. So it's 10:56. I've been going for 10 minutes. Let me just share my quick take on the business valuation. And hey, on that note, guys, if you found this video helpful or insightful, you know the drill. Smash that like button to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. Now, they're valuing this at nearly a 5x multiple here. So 2930, excuse me. We want to start with I was going for a margin. I was going for a margin on asking price margin, new metric there. No, 2930 divided by 652. Now they're asking a 4.5 multiple on this business. I think that is quite lofty, right? Like there's a lot of positive attributes here, but ultimately what they've got is an e-commerce business or brand that's well run, but they don't have, or that has been very successful, but they don't have really much operational infrastructure behind it. So I think, in my opinion, I think this business is likely to trade in the high 3s to 4. I think at the 4.5x valuation here, without any employees or contractors behind it, I just don't really see it being substantiated. 4.5 to 5x valuation, I would really, or not really, I would not do a deal at that valuation unless they had, a marketing person full-time. They had a website manager full-time, and they had customer service full-time. Those could all be outsourced, and maybe one local person or two local people doing order fulfillment. You can outsource the website, the marketing, and the customer service for very, very low cost. And then ultimately order fulfillment, that needs to be handled by local employees here in what I'm assuming is the United States. It didn't say anything to indicate otherwise. So as the business is, I think it substantiates more realistically a 3 to 4x valuation for what it is, considering the lack of employee infrastructure here. I think this valuation is a little on the lofty side, but not completely out of the ballpark. On that note, guys, if you feel like there's anything I overlooked or missed out on in this business listing, let me know in the comments below. I am calling it a wrap and signing off.